to Microsoft Office, it may give a little bit of explanation of what certain key features and objects are within the Microsoft objects or Microsoft Office suites. And after that, we will take a little look at how you would go about actually doing the Word hands-on assignment or test. This is to test some of your skills that you have learned in the previous chapters, plus any experimental things that you would actually like to pull out of the hat to show your in-depth working of Word. And after that, we will move to Excel in week 4. If any of you guys are having any issues catching up or understanding Word, just send me an email and I'll slow down a little bit or bring more topics up about Microsoft Word. But for those of you who are okay with it, we will move on to Excel. Alright, let's start chapter 3 really quick here. Okay, basic application software. This is software, remember, that is not system software because it's something that you actually have to install to make your life better in your everyday workings, such as word processing, presentations, budgeting, those type of things. Alright. Application software. We have basic application software, and then we have specialized application software. Basic application software application, this is what we're going to focus on this chapter, is just the basics that you actually need to do a whole bunch of general or universal things. Specialized software will be more into, let's say, Adobe Photoshop, if you're into specific image editing, or Adobe Dreamweaver or Visual Studio if you're into programming. Those are more specialized applications. This is more of basic applications, kind of the everyday thing that you need. As you see, some of the basic applications this chapter will cover is word processing, spreadsheets, database management systems, and presentation and graphics. Specialized software is more like the graphical programs such as Photoshop, audio and video editors such as Adobe Final Cut, I believe, multimedia authoring software, which is the software I'm actually using to record this presentation for you. Web authoring software, or pretty much web programming software, will be something similar to Visual Studio. Virtual reality programs, those can be considered any video games that you install, similar to World of Warcraft, Halo, Left 4 Dead, any games that you actually install that kind of puts you into the world. Alright, common features. Remember the keyword graphical user interface is your GUI. Microsoft Word is built on a GUI base. There's also icons, windows, menus, and toolbars within that GUI. Back in the day, and some Linux distros still actually had where they're all graphics. They had something similar to a command prompt here, and this is where you actually did all of your work here. It was very specialized. You couldn't do much. You could just do everything text-based. There's nothing, no point and clicks in here. I'm clicking in here, but it's not really doing much. That's the world before Windows and Apple programs create the GUI interface. Toolbars is just something that gives you quick access to something that you need within a program. Every program has some type of a toolbar, whether it's a menu bar or a bar with icons. Microsoft Office has built these toolbars into their GUI program to make it a more user-friendly program. Microsoft Office 2007 and 2010. Remember, these guys are very familiar because they came out with the ribbon, tab, and galleries feature. And this kind of revolutionized the way individuals find things within their programs. It's more specialized. And what I'll bring up here is actually show you that this is 2010, and you actually have your ribbon here, and then you have your different galleries. Galleries is just a collection of information. This is how they can put the most information instead of making a program that you actually had to go and use menu types. A lot of people figured this was more complicated, and if they would actually give you galleries, then they would give you something graphical to look at. So they kind of build a graphical interface within a graphical interface. There's a lot of programs out there that allow you to control applications from text-to-speech. Microsoft has a built-in text-to-speech program where you can actually control your computer through text-to-speech. It's not really the best. I would actually recommend Dragon Naturally Speaking. It's a lot more robust than the actual Microsoft version. Microsoft just put it there to become compliant with ADA rules and those type of things. But Dragon Naturally Speaking is about a $49 program, which if you buy Microsoft, you get theirs built in, but it is no way to be compared to Dragon Naturally Speaking, because the Microsoft version is just doing the bare minimums. Once again, we have word processing, Corel, WordPerfect, Apple Pages, and I would like to also mention OpenOffice, which is an open source office suite for Linux distributions as well as Microsoft Windows. It does not work on Apple's system or operating system at this time. Word processors create a very abundant amount of documents. You can create menus, letters, faxes, as you guys did, resumes, newsletters, manuals, brochures, invitations, business cards. It just does the whole 9 yards. Word processing cases, creating a flyer, creating a report. Okay, now we get to spreadsheets. Spreadsheets we'll also talk about next week, but this is kind of looking at the basic applications that you guys will use in this class. You have your Microsoft Excel, Corel Quattro Pro, Apple iWorks Numbers, and you also have the OpenOffice version of their spreadsheet, which is very similar to Microsoft Excel's spreadsheet. Within the spreadsheet, you have your rows, you have your columns, and each actual page represents a worksheet. So you can have multiple worksheets in a spreadsheet. For spreadsheet features, you can do a lot of things within spreadsheets. One of your hands-on assignments could possibly be dealing with budgeting and those type of things. You can do abundance of functions, formulas, you can do graphs, and you can do what-if analyzation. So if you create a budget, you can fill in things, and you can set up kind of like a what-if analysis on how much you would have at the end of the month, or could you buy this type of scenario. Spreadsheet cases, creating a sales forecast, which is the what-if analyst there. Creating a chart, which is you can create a chart that would allow you to see how your money is actually growing each month if you make a budget. And you can analyze your data by just looking at the chart, looking at the data, and pinpointing key changes within your data in multiple spreadsheets if you like. Alright, now we're going to look at a database, which we will not deal with in this class because databases, I believe, they need a whole class to actually grasp a database, but a database is pretty much a collection of related data. Access does a very horrible job of allowing you to create efficient related data or relational database architecture. But a database is comprised of tables, queries, forms, and reports. And it's kind of an all-in-one program that you can use to do the same type of analysis reports, but actually have other programs and other instances communicate with that data either over the web or in person. Like I said, database features again, it's relational. You have tables, records, fields. You can sort records, you can run queries against your data, you can create forms to input data, and you can do reports to analyze your data. Database cases: creating a database, of course, creating a query that searches your database, and a query is pretty much another word for search. Presentation graphics: Microsoft PowerPoint, which is the program that this thing is being presented to you. Corel presentations and Apple Keynotes. Apple Keynotes is pretty cool because it's integrated with the actual iPhones and iPads. And the same thing goes for OpenOffice. There is an open source version of a type of PowerPoint, but not by Microsoft or Apple. And a presentation, you can do slides, you can do design templates for slides, you can do content templates for styles, you do animation, transitions, and master slides. A master slide is you set that slide and all the other slides take that design and content and animation. Transition is anything that you make your page do based on a mouse click. These slides don't have any transitions except when you make it to the end. I think there is transitions, and I will point those out. Now we have integrating packages. We won't talk much about this right here because Microsoft does not do a good process to integrate their different types of programs. In the Microsoft Office suite, they fairly integrate things, and you look into the SharePoint world and site and file collaboration, those type of things, but there's not much integrated packages built into Office as now. There is more for Apple, which you see a picture down here, because iWorks is probably doing the better job of integrating their packages together. Software suites is nothing but Microsoft Office is pretty much a collaboration of software suites. Google Docs I would not consider it's kind of an online document suite, but we're talking about software, application software that you have to install for right now. But this slide took it a step further in Google Docs, which going into the cloud is pretty much like application software. If you buy things like the Google Chromebook, specialized suite software such as utility suites, you have your Norton and internet security. Hopefully nobody uses Norton around here, but anything that you actually install that has multiple pieces to it would be considered software suites. And then we're going to look at careers in IT. You can review this slide later, but it's just kind of giving you an idea of once you learn the basic applications, those are the type of jobs you can get. And throughout the slides you'll see this at the end. These are the type of jobs that it actually sets you up for. And if you look at this, it actually builds a transition within these slides here based on my mouse click. Now, that is chapter 3 in a nutshell. Now, let's look at your Word hands-on test. This is a very important test here. You don't have much information here, so this means that there's not really a set standard, but I'm going to be looking at your document for all of the key features that you have learned throughout the chapter. If you don't remember the key things that you deal with throughout the chapter, please review Lab 1, 2, and 3. So, right here it says pretty much we need to create a type of web resume. What this is we're going to develop a page that could be web worthy, that has actually pictures of you recommended, one picture, one professional picture, tables, hyperlinks, bullets, and most of all, your creativity. So let's actually do a little quick demonstration. Okay, you have your blank palette here. I will go over here and I'm going to change my margins here, and I may even change my orientation. Give me a bigger slate here. Alright, now I need to pull up my resume because I need to figure out how I actually want this designed. Let's see here. Alright, I think that's a good one. Alright, we're gonna slide this over here so it won't be in the way. Alright, now this is kind of what I would do here. Like I said, be very creative in your resume. I'm actually looking for more of creativity. Oops. More of creativity than anything else. So, I would like to insert a picture. Let's see here. There's a pretty good picture. Alright. Make it a little bit smaller here. And you have different little options here. Since you want this thing professional, be very careful if you want to start displaying this to potential job places. You have to be very careful that this is very professional. I'm going to go ahead and insert to the right here and stretch this out here and do a little bit of that. Oh, I'm not going to save it just yet. Alright, now this looks very pretty here. Like I said, you can use your current resume that you created for the class. That's actually what it was for. And now remember, your page is very limited on what you can do. You can make this 2 pages long, but kind of be careful once you start to create multiple pages that are actually outside of the page limitations, which is 3 to 4 pages is way too much. Alright, there you go. Alright. Oops. Alright. don't need the second line here. Okay. Let's go and save it somewhere because I get the habit of actually hitting that save button. Okay, now let's look at how you would actually like to develop it. Don't use my exact example here because this is, like I said, just an example. But you can do it similar to something like this. As you see, the actual page started to grow after my paste into that section there. So now this is the piece that every student gets incorrect on this assignment. We're going to go to Save As, and I saved mine as Test. I would like you to save yours as last name, first name, and let's see, just do last name, first name, and as long as you submit it to the correct Dropbox, I can find that document. And then we're going to go to Save as Type. We will scroll and find Single File Web Page. We're going to click on that. The name still stays the same, and you just hit a single save button. Now it says, would you like to change this into like your web layout, like it would look on a website? And I said yes. So this is the web resume, and this is how it will look on a website. So once everybody has their assignments submitted to me, I will probably post this somewhere. I'm trying to find out where I saved my file here. There. Now, when you save it, you will see a different icon, and it will look just like this. You can actually scroll over, and it says Type HTML Documents. So let's double click on this. This should open up into a web browser, which it does, and you have a web resume that is clickable and actually gets to your hyperlinks. And you can actually right click on it, and let's say if we can view the source here, and this is all the HTML that document has generated. Whenever you generate that, that means that is all of your HTML. If you do this in Word, it is very wordy. I would not advise looking at this if you are a programmer and trying to figure out what was going on, because web throws everything but the kitchen sink in that HTML file. But as you see it, you have your web resume, and that is your Word hands-on test. I would like to see what type of assignments you can actually submit to me. Be as creative as possible. As always, in the end of my videos here, I have the Halo Reach wallpaper. That's one of the video games that I still like to play. You're never too old to play video games. And eventually, if any of you guys actually have Xboxes or any other video game that we can find multiple people in the class that actually have that, we can have class meetings and actually discuss or kind of collaborate while we're having a little fun. So until next time, I'll talk to you later.